Hello everyone, I am Adam. Welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. This is a VR for Rocket Rick J18. I have chosen 5 Hall of Famers who also happen to be sluggers that all got their start between 1940 and 1955. Some of these will be budget buys and some of them busted my budget. So if you're someone who at times does not pay attention to your budget, you've come to the right place, Buster. You budget buster, you. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I tell you what, I love to stretch for cards at times that bust my budget. And of course, I'll be showing a few of those today together with cards that were budget buys as well. Now, what about buying cards that bust your budget? Well, it could be a good thing if you have a plan. If you maybe sell or save up or have a plan for how to pay for those budget-busting cards. But if the plan does not work out or you have no plan and you get yourself in financial trouble, well then, of course, it's a really, really bad thing. So, be careful, my collecting brothers and sisters. Be careful. And when you go after those cards that bust your budget, just, make sure you've got a really solid plan. It's best, ideally, of course, to save up in advance, to be patient, to maybe even have some collecting buddies that you run, that you feel close with, that you can, share in confidence or share more explicitly with, and maybe, run your plan by them. Maybe they can help with accountability, just because I don't want to see myself or anyone else get in trouble when it comes to getting cards that bust their budget. But on the other hand, if we can get some cards that bust our budget, that is wonderful. Then we've got them. They're locked in. They're in our collection. And if they happen to skyrocket in value, we already have them and we have secured them. And so, that's great. That's a great thing, because if we don't have them yet and they really start to skyrocket in value, then, they might be they would be that much further out of reach, that much tougher to get. I'm not trying to suggest we just go try to buy everything because it might skyrocket in value, because of course we'd get ourselves in big financial trouble. So instead we have our priorities, of course, and I think most collectors, at least a lot of them, and certainly myself, we like to stretch for some of those budget busters, but at the same time, we like to get budget buys as well, and in my opinion, those budget buys are great because those can kind of fill in between the budget busters or the more expensive cards relative to our budget. All right, without further ado, let me turn this camera around and let's do this. So we are going to start with Ted Williams. And I'll round to the nearest buck. All of these cards I got within the last typically year, although sometimes maybe last couple of years. So for $35, the Sox Missed the Pennant. What a beautiful, beautiful card. There's Ted Williams, the consummate professional, weighing his bat. Just a glorious card. $35. What a screaming deal. Near mint to mint 8 playing days Ted Williams. Actually $34.99, but hey, now for $35.99, $1 more, we got the Ready for Combat. All of these are going to be in PSA near mint to mint 8. Beautiful colors. Love to honor these players, not just for their accomplishments on the field, but for their service to their country as well. Now we step it up to $40.99, roughly $41. Daughter and Famous Daddy. To be open, I thought maybe I'd sell this card, that I did not care for it so much, but then I got to thinking a couple of things. One, I'm going to keep every single 1959 Fleer Ted Williams that I get. I'm not necessarily going after the whole set, but when I get one, I'm going to hang on to it because really they're all pretty awesome and they all tell, part of his story. And why not honor him for being a dad as well? We honor him for his, play, for his professionalism, for his amazing talent. We honor him for his military service. Why not honor him for being a dad as well? Now we step it up to $41.99, roughly $42. Back to the Marines. And Ted cleaning out his locker, or putting his uniform in his locker before he heads back to the Marines. Again, he was in World War II as well as the Korean conflict. Now we step it up to $44.99, roughly $45, Ted solos. What a contrast between Ted up there soloing and, Ted playing Major League Baseball with tens of thousands of fans looking on and watching his every move. And now we step it up to $49.99, roughly $50. Oh, I absolutely love this card. Hot September for Ted. I think just the contrast between his white uniform and the subtle background colors just really, really pops. What an absolutely glorious card. Think of this. Less than $50, near mint to mint 8, Playing Days Ted Williams. Such an absolutely gorgeous card. All right. Are you having a good time? I certainly am. Now I spent the big bucks, $76.99. Roughly $77, Ted turns professional. I absolutely love this card. Notice in the San Diego minor league uniform. And last but not least, my buddy D. Con gifted this to me. So I don't know what he paid, but I am grateful. Whatever he paid, I am grateful. But of course, my cost was $0.00. Sharpshooter Ted Williams taking his eye test for the military. And if we look at the back, notice the bottom there, Navy doctors said, or near the bottom of the big paragraph, Navy doctors said that eyesight like Ted's occurred only 6 times per 1,000 persons, which probably had something to do with his amazing ability as a batsman. All right, so those are all, in my opinion, budget Ted Williams cards. However, of course, budget is relative. But now for the big budget buster. Are you ready? I've never shown this card before. Well, only a dozen or two times. The glorious 49 leaf Ted Williams. Oh, it's absolutely glorious. I love this card so much. And, this was a budget buster for me, although I think I got a pretty good buy on it, actually. But still, it's a common card. But I just love this card so much. Some have said those are not really the colors, that he'd be wearing. But I love 49 leaf. And this is Ted Williams. And I just think this is an absolutely glorious card. So I am super, super stoked to have it. So that, of course, is not a budget Ted Williams. That is a budget buster, but now that it's in my collection, it's not going anywhere. So there we have it, some budget Ted Williams and then a budget buster Ted Williams. Of course, the famous Boston Red Sox player. Now we move on to Johnny Mize, who started with the Cardinals and then went to the Giants and finally the Yankees. And I tell you what, the big cat Johnny Mize, in my humble opinion, this dude is underrated, man. I mean, just, do a little reading about this dude. He is pretty darn amazing. I'm going to leave it at that because I know this is going to be a long video. So here we go. Just got this at the National for $70. This is absolutely stunning. 1952 tops. We're talking about, for $70, an absolutely gorgeous card from 1952 tops of a big-time Hall of Famer. And look how beautiful this card is. This card is screaming amazing. I mean, hey, the eye appeal. I mean, what is that, like 8 eye appeal? Like, I think it is. It's a 3, but is that like 8 eye appeal? The answer, in case you're wondering, is yes. Yes, it's 8 eye appeal, in case you were wondering. I'm leaving Ted up a little bit longer there because I just love that card. All right, that was $70. Now for $79.99, roughly $80. I think this might have been a buy it now. The 49 Bowman Johnny Mize. There's 2 versions. This is the one without his name on the front. What a glorious card. I would not mind getting the other version at some point as well. So this is a 5. And other than being a little off center top bottom, which doesn't bother me a bit, that card is really sharp and clean. The registration, the colors, just, it's all there. Okay, now we move up. This is a little bit less budget friendly. I got this in May of 2021 for $160. And I tell you what, I don't think you could get it for that price now. I think it'd probably be a lot more, but I'm not sure. But it was a buy it now that had been sitting around for a long time on eBay, and I finally snarfed it up. From the Lionel Carter collection, he had a penchant for really sharp and nice cards. Near Mint 7, 53 Topps Johnny Mize. This is one of my favorite cards. I mean, look how sharp this card is. This is just insane. So yeah, I don't know if you could get this for this price now, but you know what? Whether it would go for more, less, the same, it doesn't matter. I think that card is just outrageous. I just absolutely love that card. All right, now we're moving up to, this is a card also that I absolutely love. And I really think you could get it for less than I paid because prices have came down a little bit. I paid it roughly $194 for this, the 49 Leaf Johnny Mize. Oh, the colors in this card. It's a little off center, but that doesn't bother me a bit. There was another 4 that was going for like $124. One of my hobby friends was giving some thought to maybe buying it. I almost bought it myself, even though I have this one, but I'm really happy with this copy right here. I mean, if I bought it myself, I would only do it after, clearing it with my friend who was seriously considering it. But I didn't need 2 copies. And I love the copy that I have. So the colors on that card. Let me say something else about this card. Check this out. Now, the back is just kind of a cardboard back with the black print, but look at how vivid that black is. They really laid the ink down, and did this up right. Check that out. That ink is just so strong. And that's not always the case by any means. For this set. Just taking another look at that Mize. Again, check this dude out. Just to give you one sense, I believe it was 1947. Hope I have the right year. He hit 51 home runs, which I believe tied with Ralph Kiner for the lead in the National League, I believe. However, Mize only had 42 strikeouts, and he's the only player ever to hit 50 or more home runs with less than 50 strikeouts. I mean, this dude is amazing. All right, moving on from Mize, we go. Now, I happen to be, we're going to move on to Yankees player Yogi Berra, one of my favorites, one of everyone's favorites. And I decided I'm going to show all of the Bowman Yogi Berras that I have, because I am a member of the Better Bowman Berra Bureau, which basically authorizes me to show Bowman Berras at will. So let's do it. We have the 55 Bowman in a 4. I paid $100 for this, a little bit off center, but look at the sharpness, the lack of chipping and the sharpness of the corners. I mean, this is just super, super high eye appeal for the grade, in my humble opinion. Some of you, probably most all of you know just how tough this set can be. Let's see. I think we'll put this here. That was $100. So, I guess, is that a budget buy? Well, no, that depends on your budget. I think it's kind of sort of a budget buy. And now we move on. This one I got this at auction for $138, which I thought was a great buy. It's got a little wear, but hey, pretty nicely centered. And the registration and the color, really nice for this issue. Tends to have a lot of snowing and so forth, but this one is pretty darn clean. So for $138, plus the same set that has the Willie Mays rookie and the Mickey Mantle rookie, and of course those go for big, big bucks. Relative to those, I realize this is not his rookie, but what a beautiful, beautiful card. I just think this card is a great buy if you can get it for a, be patient, of course. Part of the key to stretching our hobby dollars is to be patient. A lot of times wait for auctions or just wait for one that's less expensive. And that's what I did with this card, and I could not be happier. Absolutely love it. And now we move on, $145, so $7 more. I picked this beauty up, 52 Bowman Yogi Berra in a 2. And again, this card is so nice. The registration, the colors. That's what I care about more than centering. I mean, I pay attention to centering to some degree, a lot more than I used to. But looking at these two cards, for example, they are, well within my centering requirements, I guess you could say. So I'm mostly looking for that color, that registration, and of course, paying some attention to centering. But I will buy cards like these at great prices all day long. Now, if another one came up, say a 52 Bowman Berra came up that was like perfectly centered and the registration, the color was there, and I could get it for a nice price, then, I might go after that and maybe sell this one, or I might not, because this one's pretty nice for sure, and I didn't have to put too much money into it. Now we step up to $185. I say this a lot, but another one of my favorite cards ever, the 53 Bowman Yogi Berra in a very good 3. In a tremendous 3, one of the nicest 3s you will ever see. It is just so stunning. So stunning. And let's check out the back. All right, we'll put that here. And then we move on to the 1950 Berra. Now, this is not quite as budget-friendly. This was $279.99. So roughly $280, but I tell you what, speaking of centering and registration and color, wow, little wax stain up there, but I tell you what, for a 3, I think this card is just amazing, absolutely amazing. And I've got one more Bowman Berra. So I don't have every Bowman Berra. I don't have his 48 Bowman rookie card, and I don't have his 54 Bowman at this time. But I have the rest of the Bowman Berras. This one was $350. The 49 Bowman, number 60 Yogi Berra. So this, of course, is, not cheap, not super expensive, but not cheap by any means. And, this could be the type of card that some people would be stretching for. This could be a stretch card for some collectors where they're looking to save up or sell some things to get a card like this, and this would be just a really big card for them. And you know what? The first color, Berra, the Ring King, 49 Bowman, which is such an epic set. I mean, I think that is a worthy card for sure to be somebody's budget-busting buy. All right, we are going to move on to the Cardinals Stan Musial. So we start with a card that I got for $62. I got this at a PWCC auction. I think my high bid was $62. It's a 1962, and so I went with probably $62 and some change or something. Anyway, I think I won it for right about my high bid. Wow, this is such a nice card. I tell you what, Stan tends to be budget friendly. There are a lot of Stan the Man cards you don't have to pay too much for. And this is one of them. I think this was a great buy, but $62. And of course, you could always go down to a 4 or a 3 or an ungraded copy for that matter and save even more. How about the first Topps card of Stan the Man? $75 for this 7.5. That's $10 per grade number. 7.5 times 10 is 75. In a BVG 7.5, of course. The first Stan Musial Topps card. What a beautiful card. This one, I believe, is, more budget-friendly, not only because Stan the Man tends to be budget-friendly, but also because they printed more of these. They had them on more than one of the printing sheets. And so this was like, I think maybe even a triple print. But nonetheless, hey, it's the first Topps card of Stan the Man. It's a playing day Stan the Man. It's absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. You might even be able to go with a little bit higher grade on this one without budging the budget. All right, now we move on. Now, this is kind of a big budget card, meaning it wasn't cheap, but relative to what it could have been, $272.66, roughly $273 at auction. This is the 49 Bowman Stan Musial. So his second year card, his first color card together with the leaf. And absolutely beautiful. Save money by getting it in the pristine 1 grade. Absolutely beautiful. Very well centered. A little bit of corner wear, but other than that, wow, wow, wow. So what made this roughly a $273 card? Well, on the back, these are his 1950 stats, some of them. His batting average, his home runs, and his RBIs, written with a fountain pen, probably, sometime around within a year or so of when this card was put out. So I think that's kind of cool. I actually, almost think this writing should enhance the value or not necessarily take away from the value that much. So, to me, this was an awesome buy. So will I ever try to upgrade this? I mean, it could happen. Maybe some time I buy a 3 or something, or a 4 without writing that's just pretty sharp. I guess it could happen. But, if that happened, I may still hang on to this copy. I love this copy. So I don't really have a lot of motivation to seek a quote unquote upgrade. So, I'm fine to just have this one and have that be it. If I end up getting another one, I may or may not sell this one, or I may keep both of them. Who knows? That's part of the fun of the journey. You never know where it's going to go. $630, not exactly a budget-friendly card, more of a budget buster, but I tell you what, I know I probably say this a lot, one of the most glorious cards on the planet, the 54 Red Heart Dog Food Stan Musial. Oh, the red. Oh, man, look at the centering on this. I mean, look at that vivid red. This card. Now, here's the deal. It's off center on the back a little bit, which is, so common for these Red Heart cards. Here's the deal. I mean, this card is just so amazing. If you want one of these, and a 4 for $630. Well, first of all, some 4s would be off center, so you could maybe save some money there. But, if you go down to like a 1 or a 2 or a low grade, ungraded, a person could get this card for half of what I spent, somewhere in there, maybe even less, and perhaps still have all of that glorious red, just maybe have a little bit of creasing or some corner wear or something like that, or off center. So, nothing wrong with that. I mean, this card, I think if a collector can get this, and if they have the 600-ish bucks to get something like this, that's great. And if they, if $300 is really pushing it, I think they could still find one with some patience that would still be just as glorious, maybe just off center or with some wear, that sort of thing, but could still really just pop. So what a card. All right, finally on the Stan Musial front, this is absolutely a budget buster. Never showed this card before, which is code for I show it every time I get a chance. The 49 Leaf Stan Musial in a pristine 1 with a pristine 10 pinhole, perfectly centered up there. If you know about this set and the registration, this card is insanely nice for the grade. The people that make the rules say that if it has a pinhole, it's got to be a 1. But I tell you what, this is a pristine 1. This might just be the nicest one on the planet. Now, here's the deal. Any 49 Leaf Stan Musial is glorious in any condition, pretty much any condition. I mean, I do have my limits to what I'll accept in terms of condition, but, this card in just about any condition, as long as it's got, reasonable presentation, is just an absolute grail card in my humble opinion. But I absolutely love that card. I know, Mookie, if you're watching this, if you're not, that's cool. Hey, we all have lots of things vying for our time. But if you are, I know you're just salivating looking at this glorious pinholed grail card. All right, one more. We now move on to the last Hall of Famer, the last Slugger, Joe DiMaggio of the Yankees. Now, here's the deal. I don't think there are any Joe DiMaggio, playing days budget cards. I guess possibly one of his exhibit cards, maybe. I'm not such a big fan personally. For those who are, that's cool, and I'm totally happy. For any collectors that love exhibit cards like Stuke and so forth, I think that's really cool. I can kind of see their appeal. They're just not, not something that I'm drawn to. So if we set the exhibit card aside, that might be about it as far as playing days Joe DiMaggio budget cards. So I have no playing days Joe DiMaggio budget cards to show you, but I do have, I'll take it out of its sleeve here, a big-time budget buster, my big pickup from this year's National, the 2023 National. Now, what made this quote-unquote quasi-affordable with a big stretch of the budget is the fact that it's a pristine one, and it absolutely has lots of issues. Believe it or not, there are a couple of little paper wrinkles that actually go through his face, but they don't they don't break the paper at all, and so, they really don't bother me. And then you can see a little staining. You can see uneven corner wear. You can see some scuffing down here by my thumb. On the back, you can see a little staining. But you know what? Oh, you can also see it looks like maybe I don't know if it was some tape or something, if this was glued or taped into an album or something. So you can see a little paper loss down here, and a little bit up here on the top, and then a little staining over here by my thumb on the right. But you know what? All of that made this card something that I could just stretch for and bust my budget to obtain. And I tell you what, with cartoons, 38 Gaudy, the only card I have from the set, but I really want some more. I absolutely love this set. And by mainstream wisdom, this is the glorious Joe DiMaggio rookie card. Could be the Joff DiMaggio. Maybe it's the Joff DiMaggio. He had a brother Joff and another one named Dom. I think he had a few brothers. Anyway, no, this is the Joe DiMaggio. Absolutely glorious. What? Oh no, I don't want to take any of these down. No, I don't want to take any of them down. You know what? I'm going to leave the red heart up, and we're going to close it out with these two beauties right here. Let's bring them up some. These are the budget busters, some of them anyway. Wow, this got lengthy. I hope you enjoyed. Check out Rocket Rick J 18. Sluggers Galore, budget buys, and budget busters. Would love to hear in the comments. To be open, I'm not necessarily trying to grow a channel. I mean, hey, I like it when I get more subscribers. I think it's pretty cool, but, I'm not like seeking to someday have a revenue stream from YouTube or whatever. I mean, for those that are, that's cool, but that's just not my thing. So, as far as comments go, I just want to hear what you have to say. Hear your thoughts about any of this or all of this. All right. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time. Whoa, I almost forgot my own outro here. Thank you, everyone, for sharing in my joy. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the Vintage Sanctuary. Take care, my friends.